Yes, guys. Yes, people. I think we're live. You gotta bear with me. I'm still getting used to this new editing software. But big up everyone that's locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button while you guys are on the way into the stream. Drop us your comments on the transfer window in the comment section below. Let us know any questions or thoughts that you have going into the last 2 hours of the transfer window. What has been uh roller coaster, I'd say, of a transfer window, except we've been on this upward trajectory for like 2 months straight before finally going down the bend. But it's been a very good bend since then. Big up everyone, smash the like and subscribe button. We've got the Patreon panel as well to get involved with us today. We've got Mo, we've got Wayne, Fatta, Ryan as well. And if you guys want to get involved, join the Patreon. The link is down in the description below. See what you guys are saying in the comment section. Yes, Nims, we will be streaming until the window closes. Big up yourself for joining as well. Big up Stewart as always. Champions of Europe. You love to see it. Also, big up Sammy in the comment section. I see you there, my G. A lot of people are talking about no Kounde, and I think there's a varied opinion on whether it was the right move for us or not to keep leaving the Kounde deal. But we will talk about that later on to the stream. First off, gonna go through the panel. Mo, we're gonna start off with you. How's deadline day been for you, my G?
Bro, deadline day has been pretty chill for me. I'll be honest, I slept for most of it, and I've kind of let things kind of handle itself because you just know that there's going to be twists and turns all the way throughout the day, and until it gets towards the end, like until it gets after 6 p.m. for me at least, it's not that interesting to kind of be paying attention to it. And I pretty much thought that the Saul deal was probably going to be the only one that we can probably get over the line, and I had my full doubts about the whole Kounde deal. And besides that, to be honest, I've been more paying attention to other deals of other clubs, and that's been actually more interesting for me at the very least. And but from our side of things, I feel like we've addressed our big problem with Lukaku signing. So anything after that for me is a plus. So yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see what happens towards the end of this transfer window, and finally we can just be like done with talking about signings, and we can focus on the football finally.
Yeah, I can't wait until there's no transfer window content and I can't talk about Haaland for another 2 months. CBA, man, CBA. Guys, let us know your thoughts in the comment section about any transfers. By the way, it doesn't necessarily have to be Chelsea. We can talk about other clubs too. Yeah, as always, smash the like and subscribe button as well. Wayne, chat to me, man. How has the last few days been for you, my G?
It's been chilled. I'm glad we got Sal over the line because I think that's a big plus for the side. I'm a bit upset with Kounde like everyone else because I think that's a big deal we missed out on. I just wish we could have done a deal and meet up halfway with Seville, but it is what it is. I trust Tuchel, I trust what he can do, so I'm not fretting. But and I'm just watching the transfer window and watching Barcelona become more like a team in championship form. You know what I mean? With all the players leaving and what they're doing, it's just it's comical.
Beautiful. It couldn't happen to a nicer club.
Exactly. But it's been
What was
interesting.
happening with Barcelona? Because we did speak about it a little bit backstage, but for anyone who isn't already clued in on it, what's actually been happening other than Griezmann and all that bullshit?
Well,
Look,
basically they've
look
had
the
to do a
young.
pay cut with
Yeah.
two players. Oh, what are they? Busquets and Jordi Alba have done a pay cut so they can finally sign Aguero to the side. And then because we're getting Sal, Atletico Madrid want Griezmann, but they've done the buyback for a season for 40 million. So that means Barcelona will lose over 80 million on Griezmann. And to replace Griezmann, they're going for Luke de Jong from Seville. The striker who played for Newcastle and couldn't score.
I remember Luke de Jong from like my FIFA 12 career mode. I haven't heard this guy's name in years. I can't even lie to you, man. E-Rock, big up yourself. Newest member on Chelsea fans.
Big up, E-Rock.
Big up yourself, my
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. Big up
I see
yourself,
you in the
lads.
cut. What was that, Ryan?
Yeah. Big up the man, innit? Big up
Come
the
on.
man. Still.
Speaking of which, Ryan, we might as well go. Actually, first off, do have to say also, big up Jack Gold. What a desktop background, my G. But Ryan, let's go to you, man. What's your thoughts been on the transfer window over the last few days?
Um, it's been a lot, fam. It has been a lot. It has been a lot. I mean, I think the one story that has dominated the window for me is Mbappe. Will he go to Madrid? Will he not go? Will he not go as well? And some of the fees that they were reported on Sky News as well, like Sky Sports News, over what, like 220 euros. I mean, like, if you came to me and said we want to give you 220 euros, knowing fully well that a player ain't gonna sign up a contract or anything, of course you have to take it in it. So yeah, and Mbappe, like, that's a mad one for a minute. Um, to do with Chelsea, a bit disappointed that Kounde isn't coming. I mean, because, like, we do we we kind of do and we kind of don't need backup in that particular area. But of course, if we do get any injuries, let's say, Kunde would have been good. But of course, like, we got to trust Tuchel in it, like, because of course he's in himself. But today it was mostly about everybody else. To be fair, you know, seeing the likes of Bournemouth sign up their players, West Ham, and also Leeds as well. So yeah, it's been a good couple of days, to be fair.
Yeah, very interesting couple of days. We will go into the Jules Kounde discussion in a few minutes because I do want to talk about people's opinions on it. I've seen two different sides. People who say we don't necessarily need him, and players and people are saying we've absolutely bottled this deal and we're being way too sustainable. But we'll look at it from both sides of the play. Fata, talk to me about the last few days, bro. How's everything been with you?
Well, up and down. A couple of days ago, we've had Jules Kounde deals gone off because apparently Sevilla's asking for more money. They used the situation between our deal with West Ham, or they saw that Chelsea received 30 million from them, and then they tell Chelsea, you know what, asking for more money. That is ridiculous by Sevilla Football Club, to be fair. And that is really hampering our progress in terms of the squad depth in this team. And I think that I think losing Kunde is a massive L for me because I, in next season terms, I think the squad depth in the squad really important, even though it's already big. But adding for Jules Kunde itself, it's just thinking about the next couple of years, what Tuchel gonna do. He's trying to build a dynasty in this team, and yeah, man. Apart from that, I'm just happy that we get the Saul Niguez done. It has been a lot of talking for the last couple of weeks or so, and I'm just glad the deal the deal finally done before the window closed.
Yeah, Sal Niguez should be announced in the next few hours. I feel like this stream is going to turn into a Sal announcement video sooner, hopefully sooner rather than later at the very least. But we'll talk about Kounde first because I feel like that's a bigger discussion topic. And I heard what you were saying, Fata, about how you're saying that them raising the transfer value at the last minute was a bit iffy from them, and I get that
Hmm.
from a Chelsea perspective. I'd be annoyed at it, but you gotta look at it from both sides of the coin, innit? And from Sevilla's side, they already need a centre back. They're meant to be going for a second centre back as well if they lose Jules Kounde, and they're going to lose him on deadline day. If they also lose him, they lose any leverage of trying to get another centre back either, because everyone knows that they're on the hunt for two centre backs. They're absolutely desperate, and they're going to go get fleeced. So I don't blame them. As annoying as it is, I don't blame them. Like, he's one of the best centre backs in La Liga. They stand to lose him next year for more money than they were going to lose for him this year. So of course they're going to ask for the fee that they'd lose him for in general. I don't expect them to give it to us on a cheap. I wanted it to be on the cheap. I thought it was going to be another Marina masterclass, but I get why we didn't get him. We could have forked up the money if we wanted to. That is a question of whether we bottled it or not. That's up to you guys. I want to hear what you guys' opinions are on it. I don't think it was that deep that we've lost him. I think Chelsea always keep track of their players for long periods of time, and they always seem to be watching them for at the very least a year or two. And Kounde was the same as well. He knows we're interested. He likes the project. He wanted to join us. Yes, there'll be other clubs interested next year, but we'll still be one of the names there. And we're the European champions. Our name has to have some sort of pull about it. If anything, we could be Premier League champions next season as well. And I know Kounde will still want to succeed in Spain and win La Liga and get all the achievements there and that. But he could also go to the Premier League and do the same thing and do that on more money too. So I'd be confident about our chance of getting him next season. But for this season, like, it would have been nice, but he gets another year at Sevilla to develop with regular game time that I just don't think that he gets here at Chelsea. Here, he has to fight for his spot. He has to show why he would be one of our best defenders and why he should be starting every single week. With a lot of competition, Rudiger, Christensen, Silva, Reece James, Azpilicueta, Trevor Chalobah as well. There's a lot of competition for place in the squad. Sevilla, he's their best centre back. He'll play every single game. So, looking at it from both sides, I get it if you're annoyed that we didn't fork out the cash, and we can make a question about that. But in terms of, are we screwed because we didn't get Kounde? No chance. I'm not as worried about that.
No, because like if you look at Kounde, bringing him in would have been brilliant, but Tuchel must believe that he's got enough in the bank without Kounde, because you would have thought he would have forced that deal and said, look, no matter what, I need that defender because I'm lacking in players here. He must believe what we've got is good enough to last the season or into January and then get a deal in January. I believe in Tuchel. I believe in the board. I think Marina's done brilliantly again. I think I've heard these stories. We've all heard it about him. Marina out. Nah. Marina, she's an absolute goddess for what she does. She's got rid of our dead wood out of the club, and she's just made money like out of nowhere. Some of the deals, it's like, how has she got that sort of money? Do you know what I mean? It's like, so I think we've got to stop panicking about Kounde. It's done. Saul get him in. Yes, we've still got time in the window. You never know. Kounde might end up still coming to Chelsea. But if you don't, it's not a big deal. Let's look at the positives. Like you said, we're European champions, Super Cup champions, soon to be World Cup champions, and I'm confident in what we've got as a club, what we're building. We've got the big number 9. That was the main target we needed this summer. Was a main striker. Then we need cover in that midfield. We've got Saul, and out of it we've got a plus with Chalobah, because Chalobah's been brilliant. The games he's played for us this season, he's done a brilliant job. Even that little cameo he came with Liverpool, he was brilliant. So let's not panic.
No panic. No reason to worry. Big up Jesters with the super chat. I'll see you on here in half an hour, my G. I hope you're enjoying the rest of your day as well. Or day, night. I don't even know what time it is in America, but I hope you're enjoying it anyway. What is he saying? Can we all just agree, at least we aren't Arsenal? Yeah. At the very least, we aren't Arsenal. No, I think we're happy with that. With the news that they have out now, I can shaking my head. At least I understand why the fans think they got railed. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, I got that one late, but fair play. I'm saying all or nothing is going to be absolutely ridiculous this season, especially if that news is true. Obviously, have to throw a disclaimer, nothing against anybody of all races, sexes, everything. We're all inclusive here, all of that. But if that news is true, mad. And all or nothing is going to be off the rails. They're going to have a 3-season box set at this rate.
It might even get cancelled before it gets released, bro, at this point. It's a bit of a mad one. And as for the Kounde thing, I think people people have to understand the club does not like to be bullied into deals anymore. That's the main thing. And you have to remember one of the last signings we made in Spain, where we played where we paid the release clause, was with Kepa. And unfortunately, I want to say that that deal turned out fantastically well. In some ways it did, in some ways it hasn't, because let's be frankly honest, we wanted him to be our number one keeper, and it hasn't quite worked out like that for us. The fact of the matter is, you don't want clubs bullying you into a deal that you haven't already agreed up with them in the first place. And what Seville are asking for from their perspective, I think it's fair. If they're losing a player of that caliber, and they've set a deadline date for Chelsea to meet the valuation that they've agreed upon, and Chelsea didn't do it until apparently 5 days later, it is what it is. Like that means then they don't have to play ball on their side. Regardless, I think it's also smart from our side that we walk away from the deal and we don't get bullied into something that we don't want to do. And we're actually not in a desperate place, just like Lewis has said. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is at our club, we want the best of the best, but also at the same time, we understand that sometimes you have to play hardball to get the best of deals, and you just have to trust Marina can get that done. And for anyone that's losing their mind and going about all kinds of madness, saying like, as far as to some people even saying, yeah, Marina's like effed up again, she needs to go. I'm like, stop being reactionary, man. Like she's done an incredible job. The fact of the matter is, when you look also at some of the players we needed to get rid of, out on loan or on permanent, she's done a fantastic job at securing some of the deals that she's secured. So at the end of the day, look at it for what it is. Sometimes you get fully exactly what you want. Sometimes you get maybe 2/3 of what you want. And at this point, it looks like we're getting 2/3 of what we want. And it's not going to hurt our squad, really. Let's be frankly honest. Our squad is strong enough to be able to handle this at least until January. And then we'll see where the situation lies from there. And we'll do what we need to. But besides that, no panic, honestly. Like, there are other clubs that have way more things to panic about.
Well, big up Charlotte and big up Jem in the chat as well.
Oh, didn't see Charlotte. Big up yourself, Charlotte. I hope you're all good as well. Jem, big up yourself too. Hope you're enjoying another season of the AC Penitentiary, my G. Big up Redneck Blue as well, saying, would you trade a Premier League title for an Arsenal relegation?
Nope.
And with that in mind, I'm going to just stop my video and just disappear and let you guys answer the question, because I know the panel and the comment section may not like what I have to say. But go on, guys. What's you guys?
I don't
like it's always good to see Arsenal on the ropes, fam, in the mud. It's always good, fam, innit? It's always good. It's always a pleasure. But would I take a Premiership title over relegation? As long as Arsenal don't finish in the top four and they don't get Europe again this season, I'm fine. I'd rather win the Premier League. Yeah, it's just like yeah, I'd rather win the Prem. But as long as Arsenal don't get top four, no Europe again, I'm good, fam. I'm good still. I'm good.
Yeah, you guys, let us know in the comment section as well, whatever your thoughts are. Me, I want the Premier League title, but I'm greedy. I'll take both. I'll take the Premier League title, and we can enjoy watching Arsenal get relegated this season anyway. Christensen's
We're
become my
all
favourite.
for a bit of Arsenal banter.
Better late than never. Big up yourself. One sec. Yes. So, Ryan, we were on you anyway, so we'll stick with you. What's your thoughts been on the whole Kounde situation, and do you feel like the club should have made the move and paid in full, or do you think it's something that isn't that deep for us?
Kounde. Well, I was talking about that backstage actually, and well, at the beginning of the transfer window, when news about Kounde came out, I was very optimistic about it. I was like, yeah, he's a good signing. He'll come in and like he'll obviously compete in it, because let's face it, Aspilicueta, he's not getting any younger, is he? Like and at some stage we're gonna need someone to come in straight and line up on the right side of our defense in it. But as the transfer window was come on as well, it's my opinion that even though we needed Kounde, we technically don't, because we have enough strength, we've got enough depth as well, and also Reece James, he can play there too, innit? So yeah, but on the terms of fees, of course it was put out in the news that like we would only needed to pay like what, maybe 40 million euros or something like that as well. But for now, Sevilla to just widen it up a little bit as well. It's the case. I think that, you know, if we'd have paid it, it would have been good. But we at the end of at the end, it's not that bigger. It's not a big deal because, like I said, we've got enough players. We've got depth, and obviously the people at the top know what they are doing too, innit? So, am I disappointed? Yeah, I am. But will that stop us from achieving our goals this season? Definitely not. And also January, we could always come in for him as well. But like what people are saying, Sevilla needed to find someone too, innit? So of course they wouldn't release him if they never had a replacement too. So I think that we did a good job not paying the release fee at this point. Yeah. So I think we're good enough. We're strong, fam. We're strong in it.
Yeah, our depth is in a perfect position right now. No one here thinks that we've bottled it at the very least, because that's been the main discussion around it. A lot of people are complaining that we've bottled a potential chance to sign a great prospect in Europe, and I understand the worry, and also the fact that there's going to be a lot more clubs interested in him next season. But even if that's the case, we already have good depth in our squad too. Even in our loan team, because you take that into account, who have we got coming through? We've got Malangsar potentially,
Yeah.
Trevor Caliber, Xavier Mbuyamba in the development squad too. We've got options regardless. I was this close to saying Gay, but then I forgot we got rid of him too. But even then, he's on a 20. Is it a 20 million buyback clause, or is it just first refusal on whoever's bid it is? I'm not even too sure. But we got first refusal and a buyback clause on him.
The thing is that I think, my opinion, this window for me, yeah, I know we could have got Kounde, but it's a 10 out of 10 because we got the main striker, what we was all begging for,
Exactly.
and we got the Saul again who's going to come in for Billy Gilmore, and we're going to end up saying, right, end of the thing, do we want to pay the money for Saul again if he does well? If we do, it's 34 million. And then, or we can don't have to worry and bring in Billy Gilmore back in. We're still going to have strength and depth. I just don't understand some of the Chelsea fans who are panicking and saying what I've said. This is a brilliant window. We've had a brilliant season so far. And you can even listen to all the panel people who talk about Chelsea at the moment are saying the same thing as we're saying. We're looking dangerous for all the teams in the league. We are the team that's making Man United go and buy Ronaldo, making City go and spend 100 million on Grealish. We're making them do that because of what we're doing. We're making PSG go out and spend millions of money and buy all these players because we're winning Champions League and we've got a team that's looking the best because we've got. I can't explain it, but you know, you're not going to know what's the word when you all together and you're like got each other's back and you're comfortable and I can't remember what's that word, but like the team's just all together and that they've got each other's back and they're going to. I actually think this season, and I've said this with my chest, and I'm going to say it with my chest now. We're going undefeated this season. and we're going to do better than Arsenal. We're going to be Invincibles to another level, and I believe in that.
Yeah, now I definitely believe that because the second time. And guys, let me know in the comments section if. Oh my gosh! Right, yeah, I'm speaking to Sammy about it. It's cool. We just got a production problem in the screen, but we can still see your super chats. So if you guys want to keep donating, it helps the channel. If it's not showing up on the screen, you gotta blame this new software. But we're figuring out our way behind it. But Zion, big up yourself for the donation, much appreciated. As seen on here. If it's not showing up on the screen, let me know. We'll figure it out. But I can still see it here, so I'll read it out. He says, "Big up to the panel, and yes, guys, Sal to Chelsea is wonderful news to hear, especially after a hard day at work. Champions of Europe at its finest. It's also very proud of the club regarding the Kounde deal." Okay, good. So you agree with it too. You
Yeah.
agree with the way that we've moved as well. I get Chelsea being harsh negotiators, and we need to keep that rep up. And it means that we're going to have annoying moments like this where we have players that we want to bring into the squad and we can't do it. But sometimes the case that you win some and you lose some. We could potentially be onto a bigger win at the end of the season anyway. All right, so people are saying they can't see the super chat. That's jarring, but all right, cool.
Software
We can
fault.
still
Yeah.
read it. And yeah, we're just gonna have to figure that one out for the next stream. I'm sorry, guys. This blame the StreamYard. Zion, yeah, join. You've got the Patreon, so the link should be in the chat. So just hop on, my guy.
You know what's crazy as well? Like, as much as these people are having meltdown about, not us not signing Kounde, the real meltdown for me would have been more about the midfield. Because when you think about it, we've got Jorginho, we've got Kante, and we've got Kovacic. And two injuries in that midfield would have put us in a very dire situation. And our midfield is actually very key to how we play. So people forget how important this Saul deal is actually to Chelsea and why this Saul deal was prioritized to get over the line than the Kounde deal. I think despite that happening, I would have probably been a bit more concerned had we not signed Saul than if we had not signed Kounde. And the way I'm feeling about things is I'm feeling positive. Like, I don't understand how when you look at our situation, our major concern or our major lack of depth is actually midfield, and we're addressing that problem. So regardless, you should understand that not everything can sometimes be addressed in the way in which we hope. But also, we can't be desperate, man. Like, we can't just go sign anybody now. Like, obviously, we want Kounde. He was our target. He's the person we were trying to get. For whatever reason, there was delays in us trying to pursue that deal, and unfortunately, as a reaction, Seville have said they're not going to budge and they're now going to raise their valuation to the release clause. It is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, what we want is our club to sign the players that they want and nobody else. I'd be more gutted and worried if we made a desperate signing as a result of not getting Kounde, if I'm honest. But regardless, we've got Saul, we've got Lukaku, we're getting rid of a lot of our deadwood or loaning them out, etc. I do think this has been a very good window for us. We didn't need to spend big on crazy amount of players. We needed to spend right and address the problems we actually have, and we seem to have done that.
Yeah. I got nothing left to add, but I feel like with the addition of the Saul Niguez, I think he can play in every position, especially in that right midfield as well, if we do need one. And I think he'll. Do I think he's gonna start a lot this season? Probably not. I think he's gonna be using as a rotational player, I would say, and only for one season. And if it does go success in this team, I would not be surprised if by next summer Chelsea want to go back to Atletico and then say, all right, we want to buy this player.
Yeah.
Guarantee. Saul Niguez come to Chelsea. Guarantee he's going to win some trophies for sure.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
just-
we can go on.
I'll
to
tell this.
What was that?
This window, I'm going to say, has probably been the most big name movements that I've ever known, because we went from Messi moving, Sir Ramos moving, Donnarumma moving, Hakimi moving, Lukaku moving, Ronaldo moving, Sancho moving, Varane moving, the Griezmann moving. I mean,
Neymar will move in the next hour or some crap.
it's just been mad. This window's just been absolute mad.
Yeah, I actually don't think we'll see a window like this, but I also think. Oh, Jester says 15 minutes until I can set people straight on Sal. Yes, I'm waiting for that, and I'm also waiting for your daily dose of Hudson-Odoi slander. Let's get
Oh,
into it.
gee.
Hudson-Odoi is actually a great talking point, to be honest,
Let's
because
get to that.
now Sal's coming in. Does it feel like I wish there'd still be some hope that we could push Hudson-Odoi out on loan to a club? But do you feel it's right for us to keep him here basically as wing-back depth? Because that's all that he's really here for. And I understand we need to cover all of our bases throughout the transfer, throughout our squad. But for me, it's also like, don't we care about this guy's development? Because it's another year that he's not going to play at left wing, that he's going to get limited game time in his best position, and that he's just going to have to stay stuck at right wing back. And I get that's going to be great against low block teams and whenever we want to play an attacking version of 5 at the back. But really and truly, it's going to be another year where Callum Hudson-Odoi stagnates, in my opinion. Or at the very least, he ends up... Where does he end up? Just either end up selling him or loaning him next season, because I just don't think he's going to get the right amount of game time that he needs for a development at his age. He hasn't had a single loan spell in his Chelsea career.
Yeah.
Every other player that we've had in the academy has had loan spells. Gilmore's gone on loan. Tammy's gone on loan. Well, Tammy's gone now and everything, but points still for that. Tomori, James, Mount, everybody except one person, Mason Mount. Callum Hudson-Odoi. So, what are you guys' thoughts? Do you guys think we should have kept him, or do you guys think even if there's a chance now, we should try and loan him out wherever is necessary? Because for me, the number one thing for me is I need him to get regular game time, because I know he's going to come back to us like a new player.
Yeah, look,
Oh, go ahead.
you're right. He needs game time, and I think we've done a real big mistake. I think Bruce Dortmund would done really well. But he's got. I think there's a few deals that still needs to be done. Really, like Andron as well. I think he's got to go on loan. Saul, Barkley. So there's still more deals to go out. I think we need to sort out before the window shuts. But hopefully, he does get his own deal before the window. I don't want him to be hindrance, and he's a good player. He just needs game time.
And I honestly, you guys are going to be shocked with me. For me, if it's not the right loan move, I don't want him to go out on loan. Simple as. I think for me, it's like a Gilmore situation. I wouldn't have been happy with Gilmore going out on loan unless it was with a manager that I feel like I trust or will play a certain style of football or is very good with managing young players and giving them the right minutes, but also giving them the right coaching. With Hudson-Odoi, for me, it's always been the same thing. And as much as I want him to play, people keep forgetting that this guy is a 20-year-old player that is going to turn 21 in November. And they're making such a big deal about the fact that he's not getting minutes. But you have to understand, you can't just give minutes to a player just because we want him to have minutes. Like, I would love him to get the minutes. And I'm usually the type of person that would be fighting for it. I think he's talented. I think he's got what we need. The fact of the matter is, Chelsea have made large investments in some of the positions that his ideal position. They've made large investments. We've spent over 100. I think it's over 100 million between Pulisic and Werner that they play in his position. So in order for us to actually say Hudson-Odoi gets in that position, Hudson-Odoi has to perform out of his skin to earn that place. What it will come down to at the end of the day is he will get minutes at some point, because let's be frankly honest, the performance by Timo Werner hasn't been encouraging. Pulisic hasn't been encouraging, but also his fitness has been a concern since he signed for us. That in itself already lets you know there are going to be opportunities, but when they pop up, Hudson-Odoi needs to make the right type of noise and make sure that he's there when he's needed. And in my eyes, sending him out alone is a lazy way for us to say we can't be bothered to actually develop him ourselves. Sorry, Ryan, your background. If you just want to mute yourself, bro. Hudson-Odoi needs the right loan. If it's not the right loan, don't loan him out in my eyes. And if it comes to our team, you have to earn that spot. And I understand we want him to get minutes, but when he does eventually get this minutes, which I think he will this season, He just needs to bang. That's all he has to do. He has to bang. He has to make sure he does exactly what this manager is asking of him, and he needs to focus on that. And us, from a Chelsea perspective, us just sending him out is a lazy way to say we don't know what to do, and we aren't bothered to actually develop our players. Again, lazy approach. We should be doing it
That's the
ourselves.
Chelsea way, though. I can't lie. We don't develop our
It
players.
it is because of the managers we've hired in the past. With Thomas Tuchel, for me, it's different. I've seen him before do this with youngsters where he has developed them. You've
It's
got to
about
give
the
him.
longevity too. That's the thing.
What do you mean in longevity in terms of what, bro?
I mean, the managerial longevity, because I think anytime a
Correct. Yeah.
manager tries to, they're
Yeah.
usually out the door before then. We
Yeah.
need a manager that's here for at least past 2 years
Yeah.
before I think he genuinely starts saying, all right, so this might be my club for the future. Let
Yeah.
me start developing the players that I have.
Mm.
No one really has that chance because they come in, they're demanded instant success. So
Yeah.
they go with their most experienced players first, which
Yeah.
is why you see inexperienced players like Callum Hudson-Odoi, who's never had a loan spell, not being called upon in big moments because he
Mm.
hasn't had any experience at a team.
Yeah. It's weird because the catch-22 here is this, right? If we said, okay, cool, we're going to give a manager, like for me, you have to get the right manager to give the time to. Thomas Tuchel for me is one of the managers that we've hired that I could say, yeah, I can see longevity with this guy. But again, it will always depend on what's happening on the pitch. I do think he's very, very much balanced in terms of like when you watch his teams play, he does balance it well enough. I do think defense wins you the best, wins you titles. As much as people like to talk about strikers, when you think about Liverpool team, Liverpool kept on stepping up because their defense was sorted, but they were scoring a hell lot of goals. And you think about any other team that's won it since then, your Man Cities, etc. Once they're focused on their defense, it made anything else a lot more easier for them because then they could score, they could keep the ball, they could address their real problems. With a lot of the managers that we've had in the past, the issue that I kept on seeing was always that if we did well in one side of the pitch, the other side always suffered. And defense for us has always been a big deal at Chelsea Football Club. But for whatever reason, a lot of the managers we've had, they've struggled with that part of the game. They've always struggled. And that for me has been an issue that I needed us to actually address in recent history, that the managers we've hired, all attacking, all possession, all this, but then the defense is shit. Now that the defense is actually correct and the managers found a system for us, it's about addressing the other issue, which is up front. And I do think this season is about that for us. This season is also about us proving that we can actually have a title challenge. Because let's be frankly honest, we haven't seen a title challenge this going into this season. This is going to be our 5th season. And I'm hoping we see a title challenge this year because as much as I love the Champions League and I want to praise about the Champions League, I don't want us to just think that that's all it's always really about. Over a 38-game season, it's about consistency. It's about momentum. Can Chelsea do that over the course of the season? I want to see these players turn from boys to men. And right now, the start that we've had has actually shown this. The fact of the matter is, when you also look at Hudson-Odoi, people forget the guy is 20 years old, man. Like, we're not supposed to have this solved just overnight and say the guy is going to just go and bang and now we need to put him in this minutes and that. Where sometimes I do think our expectations are too idealistic and it's almost like we play FIFA and Football Manager and we think it's as easy as that. Sometimes there's a lot of things that really get in the way of things and we won't be able to do things the way we would like. And as fans, we need to look at context and we need to be patient. And it's when we can complain is when things don't make sense. And right now, to me so far, when I look at the contest, things make sense. I'd rather keep Hudson-Odoi. And honestly speaking, respectfully to Dortmund, I don't really want to do business with them after what they put us through this summer window with that Haaland situation. Because let's be honest, we wasted God knows how many weeks
Come
trying
on,
to
I'll be real. I'm on my knees thanking them. Like,
yeah, but
we got R9 and we ain't dealing with that Walad Raola.
No, I'm glad. Don't get me wrong, Will. Not Will. Sorry. Don't get me wrong, Louis. It's not that. It's not the fact that I'm annoyed that the deal didn't get done. It's the fact that the time was wasted. They should have just told us straight from the get-go, whatever you put on this table, we will not take your deal serious. That would have been nice.
I hear that. Oh, you need to pause. Who the hell is Will?
Will is a friend of mine on Twitter Spaces, so it jumped out. He's usually someone I discuss a lot with.
Cool, cool. I've never been called Will before.
Shout out to Will. Shout out to Will, bro.
Fair enough, yeah. Big up, Will, wherever you may be, my G. Big up yourself.
I've got to rotate the panel in a little bit. So Ryan, let me get your thoughts quickly before I send you off.
Okay, cool. So yeah, for me, Callum, I would have liked him to go on loan because, you know, he likes to play left wing, and of course, like, you know, you got Pulisic, Ziyech, Mount, Havertz, and all them lot in it. So Callum, I would have liked him to stay, but I would have liked him to go on loan. But if he stays, it's good because you know he can be utilised that right wing back as well, which of course is a good thing is a good thing for us as well. But same time again, you know, you want him to go where he's going to where he's going to play, and where he's going to play where he wants to play as well in it. So end of the day, him staying is not the baddest thing, but I would have liked him to go out on loan
Yeah, big up,
and to get
Max.
some game time and
big
to
up.
get a lot of confidence as well. Because we don't want to see another Ainsley Maitland-Niles situation, like, you know, where he comes out of social media and stuff and say, yeah, I need to go for a minute. So you know, but yeah, him staying is good, yeah, and I definitely do think that when Saul is over the line, it'd be a good signing for us because, like, you know, midfield within that, like, first team in it, Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic as well, and if anybody of them gets seriously injured, we are in the mud. So yeah, definitely Saul coming in is good as well. But I think like we got a decent squad to be able to challenge this year. So yeah, we're good, fam. We're good.
Damn right, bro. Ryan, safe for jumping on, man. When we do more of
All
these
right.
streams, pop on again, bro.
All
Take
right,
care,
all
bro.
right,
Safe for jumping on. Yeah, much appreciated, my guy. All right, we're gonna. I think Jesters is gonna be hopping on in another minute as well. So I want to hear what he has to say on the Cho situation and on the Saul situation as well. Fata, we haven't heard from you though. Talk to me, man. What are you saying?
Yeah, but the South thing, yeah. I'm just hoping this guy can at least bring some lightness to the our midfield because Kante is gonna be out for what 3 weeks now, and the last thing that we need, if we overplay Kante a lot this season, I think it's gonna be a massive loss for him, especially when we got that World Cup next year, and also at some point this season too, we're gonna have to rotate either Kante or Saul and the guys coming to this team. And I feel like if he plays in that midfield role with Kovacic and Jorginho, I think he will do good. Not only that, but he also can play as a right midfielder as well, which is absolutely great because right now Reece James currently on suspension. I have no idea how long is it going to be taking because I heard that we're doing an appeal against the red card, and I hope it works. And yeah, I feel like this is going to be a massive season for Chelsea for sure in terms of how we're going to improve the team from last season to this season, and it's a good direction to be at right now as a Chelsea fan, even though we've already won. We've already drawn one against one of the top 6 sides, which technically Arsenal isn't in that category. So
Technically,
yeah,
I dropped the hands because it's a fact now. They ain't a big club.
get rid.
but yeah, big up Justice in the cut as well.
Come on,
Hey.
big up Jesters.
What's going on, folks?
Not much.
I got Sal through the door. I'm gassed. That's all.
Yeah. It was the one need we needed this transfer window was a central midfielder. and we pulled one out. €5 million. That's all it's costing us this year, which means our net
Big up, Sam. Big up,
spend
man.
is in the green, which means we made money this summer.
Hmm.
How many teams can say that?
Totally.
No one.
Unless you were just a selling club, not many. I'll be very honest.
Yeah.
You got Gargantua and Chelsea, that's who.
Okay.
Thomas Tuchel's treble stealing tricky blues.
We signed a strike for £97.5 million and still made money this summer. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Nobody does that. So I think that there's a lot of people out there, some you might know, some you might not, still whining and crying over not getting Jules Kounde. I wanted Jules Kounde more than anybody else because I know how good he's going to be. However, most of those people who are whining and crying have never, ever negotiated a multi-million-dollar contract or run a multi-million-dollar business. Now, I've run a multi-million-dollar office, and I have negotiated multi-million-dollar contracts. It is not as easy as everybody thinks it is. It's not pushing a button on Football Manager or in FIFA. It's a lot more to it. And the knock-on effect from letting some team mug us off after they have a verbal agreement with us is something that reverberates through every transfer from here on out. So you cannot let some B-Tech club like Sevilla dictate how much we're going to pay for a position. You just can't do it. We're the big dog. The big dog always eats first.
Matt said
Little dogs
Prison
eat
yard
after the big
dynamics.
dog.
That's right. It's prison yard dynamics, Jester. We can't get punked by Sevilla in front of everybody. It's just not going to fly. Like, we ain't no bitch, and we're not going to be made to look like one. So, that's what the world is. Unfortunately, there's a power dynamic to everything, and we're not letting ourselves get rolled like that. I'm glad we walked away.
We did not get rickrolled.
Simples. There we go, man.
So,
yeah, great move, Bars. It's annoying that we ain't gonna have Jules Kounde, but we move. We don't always get what we want, but you know what we do get? The Champions League trophy. So it's all,
what's the how's that song go?
Champion of Europe. We know what
not
we
that
are.
one. I know that one, but you can't always get what you want. You try sometimes. You just might find you get what you need. Well, we got what we needed.
We did.
Yeah.
We needed
got
Saul
what
more
we
than we needed
Song
Kounde.
name. I was gonna be like, I'm totally lost, but I'm bad with music like that.
That's way before you were even thought of, Lewis. That's all right.
Oh, okay, cool. I was just a bit around.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man.
Just getting ready for the big race. You love to see it. Big up
So-
AV with the donation saying, that's my Alabama All-Star. Welcome, Jester. Big up yourself, AV. Big up yourself, Jester, as well, my G. I do feel like I know your answer regarding this, but we're going to go into it anyway. What's your thought on the Cho situation, and do you feel like we should have loaned him out for the season as well? Because
Well, go, guys. So see you later. Good evening.
yes, bro.
Take care.
Yeah,
Take
man.
care, brother.
Pick up, Wayne.
I can't lie. I still think we should have we should have loaned him out for the season for the benefit of his development, and also either his return to Chelsea or us selling Hudson-Odoi at the end of next season, because we still would have got a lot more money for him had he had 1 year of a loan spell under his belt anyway.
Well, unfortunately, companies or businesses do not care about their employees. Callum Hudson-Odoi signed a contract to play for Chelsea Football Club. If he didn't want to play for Chelsea Football Club and wanted to try his hand someplace else, he should have not signed that contract. So I don't feel bad for Callum at all. One, he has two choices. One, put a transfer request in. Two, play better in practice and show up in games, and maybe you'll get more time. If you do neither, sit on the bench and cry a little bit more while you cash that check every week. Because that's what you wanted. You wanted to cash that check every week. Your brother negotiated it. They put out a BS story about Bayern Munich coming in for £80 million for Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now I ask you, when was the last time Bayern Munich paid $80 million for anybody?
There's the answer.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
Yep, there's
Anybody
the
got an answer? They don't. Especially for a 20-year-old or 19-year-old at that time coming off an Achilles injury. So let's be honest. His brothers were worried about him getting paid to help the family, which is noble and great, but it's going to put a damper on your career because you're making 120 bags after taxes, which means you're really making close to 180 bags. Okay? So now you're asking a loan club, when you loan a player, it's basically a live tryout, right? We're going to try you out for the season, see how you work. Who's going to pay 180 bags to loan, again, a 19 to 20-year-old coming off an Achilles injury who can't make it in Chelsea's starting lineup? It makes no sense. It's business.
I think
And
even with his wages, like we've seen with a lot of players this season, Chelsea could have just paid a big part of it. Apparently, with the Danny Drinkwater loan to Reading, apparently, and correct me if I'm wrong, we're only paying Reading are only paying 8K a week, and we're
Yeah.
I
paying
believe that.
Sounds
Yeah.
about right.
But that's because Danny Drinkwater just needs to go. I mean, look.
I know, but like we've still financed paying him 100K a week out of our own money, whereas with Hudson-Odoi, probably have to pay what 70, 80K of the wages, maybe.
Yeah. Well, again, you're talking about the taxes, depending on the taxes in the country and how that works. Now that England's separated from the Eurozone, I don't know how all that works for taxes. So it could be higher than that. Again, with that being said, where's all the teams coming in for him for a loan? I mean,
but Chester, I think
they're not beating down the door.
I think
Yeah, because-
he's only been put out for loan recently because the news of clubs coming in for him has only come out over the last few days. I think if it was common knowledge that Hudson-Odoi was out for loan or was being put up for a loan deal by Chelsea, if
You
that
would
was
not know.
common knowledge at the start of the window, we
Yeah.
wouldn't even have him on Chelsea's books by the start of the season. I think
Correct.
he would have already been gone.
I did the Kounde deal. So like when we thought we were about to steal Kounde, we would have had Dave as backup or cover at right wing back, and we would have had a true right center back. Then we don't need that depth at wing back, and we're okay to let Cho go on loan. So I think we were probably like sounding out offers because we thought we had an agreement with Sevilla. Turns out, who knows about that? But like, it would have been the best thing for him to get a loan. We'll subsidize it. Maybe we get an offer that's closer to like 50 million. We raise some money off of it after the end of the season. It would have been good. Put him in the shop window.
Well, again, he has to want to go out on loan. Maybe he's saying, maybe last year he said, I don't want to go on loan. I want to stay at Chelsea. Maybe that was the option. We don't know what happens behind the scenes. You only know what gets reported. So there could be enough times where he could have had a team coming in and say, hey, we want to loan this guy out. And he said, no, I want to fight for my place. Well, that's a mistake because you obviously didn't do well enough to get a place. So to just delay all this on Chelsea and the board and Marina, the player has to take onus. He signed the contract. His team negotiated that contract. I don't feel sorry for multimillionaires. I'm sorry. You're not ever going to get me. You're never going to get me to sit there and go, oh, poor multimillionaire playing a kid's game for big dollars. Boo-hoo. I work, 10, 11-hour days. Why you think I'm going to be weeping over that? No. Sorry. If you wanted to develop your game, you should have signed a lesser contract or not at all and left. Do a Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho said, no, I ain't getting my time here. I'm going to go prove myself. And then I'm going to show you why you should have developed me. So that's Man City's L. But he didn't. He took the money.
But that's RL too. I mean, I think the offer was RL, because we sent him a bunch of money before he was proven, and now we are tasked with developing this like a very expensive asset, right? So if we don't even think about him as the person, okay, we'll take that part side of it out. If we just think of it from the club's perspective, we want to develop this asset, we want it to increase its valuation if we're just trying to make money. Putting him in the window makes the most sense, but I don't blame the board for not doing that because there were a bunch of things that were outside our control that came up this window that made it to where we couldn't get the targets in through the door, looking at Kounde here in particular, maybe Hakimi previously, that would have allowed that player to go out a lot earlier in the window. Sounds like we were trying to include Cho in some of those, initial Holland talks too. So I think we have been operating in good faith, working towards his career's goals and like trying to make him better. But it's unfortunate it fell through. Anyone who's blaming the club though and Marina for that is high on something.
Yeah, well,
The other thing that you guys,
go
sorry,
ahead.
and yeah, the other thing that I think people forget to mention, like, I agree with a lot of what Jester is saying. That just I wouldn't put it in the words that he's put it in, like, which I feel are a bit more blunt. But I get your point. I get what you're trying to say. I think for me, it's always been about what the club has to do currently right now is look for its best interest as well. You can't compromise the manager. Like, it's something
Yeah.
like with us. You can't compromise this manager anymore, because at the end of the day, he's delivered under already a big compromise. To compromise him any more than that, for me, would be a piss take, if I'm honest with you guys. And we're not respecting what he needs. He asked for a striker. We gave him a striker. He asked for a midfielder. We've also now managed to secure a midfielder for him. He then obviously was waiting for another deal to happen. Or if Cho was going to go, we needed a replacement. We couldn't secure that, therefore Cho stays. It's as simple as that. As for how Cho breaks into this team, it has to be done based on merit, and people have to understand that. Also, for me, I'm not down with writing the player off and saying, his development is basically fucked for the rest of his career. Bro, the guy is 20 years old. Like, wake up, guys. Players don't have to develop like to what you lot are expecting them to at the age of 20. It's ridiculous. I've never seen anything like that. It's rare that players develop to this extent that you guys want them to. And what can happen is that Cho actually stays. Cho puts his head down, and Cho fights a way to get more minutes. And once he gets that more minutes, he proves to the club, the owners, the manager, and everybody involved that what they've invested has been worthwhile. If that doesn't work out, okay, cool. Well, you couldn't get it at this club. You then go out on loan, go find a different route, and come back even better than you were before. Simple as. There's always solutions on the table. The fact of the matter is, as fans, we are as Chelsea Football Club supporters, first and foremost, we can't be getting too caught up in individuals' development too often. Because at the end of the day, what do we want? We want our club to be winning trophies. That's what we really care about. At the end of the day, right now, if he does or doesn't play minutes, that doesn't stop the club from actually doing what they're meant to do. And hopefully, he can prove that he can actually contribute far more than he's done in the previous chances. But maybe, just maybe, there's a little bit of hope with Tuchel understanding that, as much as that what we're saying, all of us, is now very valid, that maybe the guy just deserves a little bit more opportunity to show that things. And we are in 5 different competitions, guys. 5 different competitions, 5 different opportunities to show its contribution. There's no panic, guys. We are actually spoiled for choice in so many positions that I don't understand any meltdown that people have right now at this point.
You're right, Mo. I feel like Cho is going to get inserted into a game at some point, possibly the League Cup game as well against Aston Villa. He's going to get minutes for sure.
But you can't look, if you play in lower competition and you're balling against lower competition, that doesn't give you really a metric of where you would be if you're playing against better competition. So he needs to do it when he gets a chance against the top level. Correct. And of course, people are going to be rotated. Of course, people are going to get injured, suspended, what have you. It's going to happen. Nobody goes through a whole season, or I shouldn't say nobody, because Liverpool, when they won the Premier League, pretty much with a small squad, went through the whole season being injury free, right?
Very lucky.
And you can see what happens to them now.
Yeah.
Or last year when that didn't happen. So it's good to have a big squad. And look, everybody says, well, Tuchel wanted him to stay. Managers really, for the most part, with a few exceptions, do not trash players on their roster. You just don't do that. That's not the way to build chemistry within a team, to throw players on the bus. That was the one thing that Mourinho always got wrong, is it's fine when you're winning. The moment you're not, those players you threw underneath the bus come back alive, and they're like zombies to wreck your career. So you just can't continue to do that. So Tuchel does and says the right things when it comes to players. He's not going to say, no, I don't want that kid. Get him the hell out of my door. He could say that behind the scenes. if he's going to say it, it's going to be behind the scenes. It's not going to be the reporters. So I guess we spent enough on somebody who's barely getting any game time. Let's talk about Saul, because
I knew it.
I swear,
I knew Jess was going to deliver a bomb like this,
swear to
man.
I thought he was gonna be
Oh
calm about
my
it. He said, like, one
word.
little shot in his
bro,
head before he
man
left.
has to just take that little digs every single time. Carry on.
but
Just a little extra
am I not speaking facts? He's not
I
going
mean,
to
we
get a
went
whole lot of game time. I mean, we just went over that.
Yeah,
So,
and we tried to sign other backups too. We tried to get Traore. We talked about getting Traore. We tried to get Hakimi. So clearly, we wanted other options as backup at right wing back. I mean, it would have been best for him to get loaned. Let's move. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for his development, it would be better if he was not at Chelsea Football Club for the season. Whatever way it went, it would be better if he wasn't at the club, because he developed his career, or his skill set, and his career would be on a different track if he did. Okay, that's one thing. That's okay. It's not going to happen. He's staying. So Saul, I think what everybody misses out on Saul, he's just going to come in for a fourth choice. No. Saul at his best is a beast in the midfield. You can go back and watch film and watch him play. He is much better in the final third than any of our midfielders. In the final third, he is our best midfielder. Okay, something we have been lacking for, I don't know, since Ruben went down with an Achilles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do not be surprised that the first name off the bench is not Saul at some point this season, because he will give you something that Kovacic will not give you, and that is a threat out of the midfield.
Mhm.
But he gives us a bunch of things that Kovacic does, like engine and the technical pass, or the technical work. He seems like someone who's able to do the defensive side, box to box too. So that's someone Tuchel will want.
Big up,
Someone
Daniel.
Tuchel will like. So I mean, all the characteristics seem good. And yeah, I don't think he's going to rot on the bench by any means. He's a different profile. Gives us
Plus,
something.
he's got a left foot. He's got a left foot. We don't have that in the midfield.
Midfielder before, not since
Yeah.
Matic.
Well,
Oh, true. He's lefty. Yeah.
to be fair, this is not the same Saul that the one that scores against amazing goals against Bayern Munich in 2016, though.
Yeah,
Not
but
the
I
same.
wouldn't hold that off as a metric that you judge him by, because that's a once in a lifetime sort of goal. He ain't doing that twice.
And also, isn't
Yeah.
it the contract situation kind of like it seems like his career stagnated and he's been somewhat disinterested. They've been playing him at left back, playing him out of position. I think a lot of that is just, you come to a new environment. Sometimes you have to leave an organization to really like flourish, and I think that I hope he is one of those.
Yeah, again, it's how many careers has Tommy Tuchel resurrected in this team
Loads.
already? You
Loads.
give him a Saul with that skill set, he will put him in the right places and put him in the right position to flourish. And a Saul that is at his best is probably, we have to say, our third best midfielder, because Jorginho is player of the year and Conte just won. Conte is Conte. But for as a more attacking midfielder, he would be our best midfielder.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, this guy has it within himself to be a very special player.
Is this based on purely like the finishing ability? Is that what you're talking about, Jester?
No, he can do it all. He can
It's
run a
all-around game.
midfield. He can pass. He can shoot. He's got the tactical knowledge. He can replace. He can sit in for Jorginho. If you want to rotate Jorginho out, Saul is that man who can play that, and he actually will play more line breaking passes than Jorginho in that position, because he's a forward thinking, offensive thinking, more of Jorginho's more possession based, keeping the rhythm, keeping the tempo. He's a metronome. Saul is, I can make that pass, boom, and hits it.
So
It's something we've been asking for.
So do you do you see him playing in games where we're finding it difficult to break down low blocks and stuff like that, or do you see him in games like against the Liverpool, for example, teams that press? How do you see it working out? Because that's what I'm interested in. Like I know the player, but I don't know the player in different situations enough for me to be like I can make an overall judgment on him. So I'm open to seeing how the player is and what sort of benefits he offers. But I'm not also saying at the moment like he's better than anyone or worse than anyone. I'm like it's very good to have him as an option, 100%.
Yeah,
What again? I'm saying at Saul at it. If
his
Saul was
best.
playing at his best, I didn't say Saul just walks into the team and everybody goes underneath him. I'm saying Saul at his best, and I think Tommy Tuchel will get it out of him. Is a baller, and
Okay.
you're getting a baller for €5 million for a year. And if he does ball out, don't be surprised if Saul stays next summer and Kovacic leaves.
And he might not ball right away. I mean, a lot of players come from Spain and need a little time, but I think that Tuchel's the coach for him to get that time under. And it's cool that he's not in a high pressure situation. He's not coming in to be our number one, which is great. Take some of that off, and it gives him time to bed in, get to know some of the Spanish. He's got a couple compatriots at the club who can help him ease into that situation. So I think it's all positive signs. It's all really. It sounds like he made the push to make it like an option to buy, which says I'm hungry to prove myself. I think to the club. I think that's a. If he had been pushing for an obligation to buy, that never sounds good to me. He wants to prove himself. He knows like what Jester was saying is, this is a trial period for him. This is a turning point in his career. And so all that pressure is going to be on him, but he seems like the kind of competitor. I mean, if you read that happened, was his kidney that basically exploded in his body while he was playing a game, and he didn't bring it up until halftime when he was vomiting in the locker room, and and he was saying, "Oh, I can go back out there." That's a soldier. You only last, and you don't get a contract like the one that Diego Simeone and the people at Atletico offered him. You don't get that kind of contract at a club like that unless you're the real deal. But unfortunately, I think those kinds of contracts also can sour a situation. Complacency, too familiar of a surrounding can be an enemy. And so now he is making a move that indicates hunger, ambition, and like all the right qualities that we want in our players. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think everybody should be excited. I think everybody should praise Marina and the job she does. Look at all the outs we had. I know some people are wringing their hands because it was some youth, but that's what Chelsea do. They raise these youth players, they sell them on, and they use that money to buy established players. We've always done it, and it's just not for the last couple of years. Everybody's like, well, youth and youth and youth. It never was like that with Chelsea before, so I've been told. I haven't. My history with Chelsea does not go that far back, but I've been told by people who have followed Chelsea for a long time, youth has never been a thing for Chelsea. It just was a thing because of
for the last few years, like Christensen and the 2019-20 Chelsea team.
Yeah,
are the only youth players I've seen properly get pushed into the squad. Everyone else, it's just been a maybe. And
but they've been winning.
Big up Benedict for joining us as well. I think you have joined us. It's not showing up on the comment section link, but appreciate it anyway. But yeah, we've had players like Josh McEachran, Nathan Ake, Gail Kakuta. Plenty of players. I'm sure
Marco Van Ginkel,
comment section.
Lucas Piazon
as well, who had a lot of potential and never touched our team. Never once touched our team.
Yeah,
because it's the thing that you have athletes and then you have tiers of athletes, and Chelsea only want the top tier. So you can be an amazing player, but if you don't fit in that top tier of excellence, the top 1% of football players in the world, Chelsea will not look at you. And if you are playing, as soon as they find that replacement for you in that top 1%, you're out the door. Okay? Unless you have a special skill set that they can't replicate from someplace else, like Marcus Alonso, who, well, one, you can't get rid of because of the contract, and two, on his day can be a dominating force off that left-hand side. We've already seen it twice this year. He's played very well. Was
Yeah,
it three times?
exactly.
Three times. Three times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ross
it
has
has
a
been three
very
times.
good start to the season, surprisingly good. Wait
So
till the mid where the season says, but we got about under half an hour left before the transfer window is officially closed, and other than Sal, which is meant to be imminent, should be announced basically any minute now. I'm not really sure what the outgoings are going on. Has anyone heard anything about Ross Barkley?
he was meant to go to
Negative.
Burnley, but
That
I
that
heard
went
collapsed.
that
on.
fell
That
through though. I heard that fell through hours ago.
it did.
Yeah.
Ampadu's going to Venezia
In Italy.
Oh,
on
the
loan.
team with the banging kits.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they are.
I haven't heard anything on Ruben at all. I know he was weighing up potential deals. Andrew is still not done, but September 7th is the deadline in Russia. So that can be done anytime before the 7th. So that's not a big deal. Drinkwater is going to Reading, like you said, even
He
though we
went
have to pay most of the
yesterday, yeah.
salary. At least he's not with the club. Of course, we know Tammy's gone. We know Livermento's
Baba
gone. We
Raham gone?
know Baba Rahman is gone. He went to Reading too.
Did he really? Oh, okay.
Reading. Okay, that's
I think it was Reading that he went to.
Yeah,
So
both for
Yeah.
loan deals. Championship's fine. You can loan multiple players in there if you want.
yeah. So
Fabrizio Romano said Saul will officially join Chelsea in the next few minutes. So
Sar's loan fell through too, didn't it?
and we
It
know
did.
Fabrizio's the tap-in merchant, so it means it'll probably be announced in the next 60 seconds. So,
It's too bad. I was really hoping he would get
just
out.
Wait, be patient.
So it's just the announcement. The paperwork's actually done per Matt Law.
Yeah, just get Aspi to like record a 5-second clip on his phone, just saying like.
Well, that doesn't make it
we have
official.
some Sal Niguez news for you today.
That doesn't make it official. The paperwork going through makes it official. And there's no broken fax machines anymore, so we have to worry
It's
about
probably already official now. It's just announcement pending.
right. The deal's done. It's just it hasn't been announced.
Chelsea player. Yeah, yeah.
And it might not be announced till tomorrow. When maybe he's flying into and they're going to hold up the shirt and everything.
Gatwick
You don't know.
Airport.
Yeah,
For you, Chelsea
he's not in
fans.
London. He's going to be in London tomorrow. That's a guarantee. He ain't here.
Gatwick Airport, people. Go to Gatwick.
Yeah, Fata's going to be about to give us more flight tracker news and. false
So let's see
flights and
if
everything like
Chelsea can take down Flight Tracker.
that. We
The
Gatwick
server's gonna go
Airport or
down.
Luton Airport.
Lukaku one. You remember?
Yeah,
us
it
just
should've.
there like, hey, Lukaku has officially entered British soil. Nah, this guy's in Nice.
That stream was great.
That stream we were just down her.
That might have been the highlight stream of the transfer window, honestly.
Nah, I can't lie. What was it? Fata just in the background while Johnny and Winter Surfer were going at. That's the one for me. That was a mad stream.
It's interesting, and like this is not Chelsea related. It's interesting to see what Real Madrid is trying to do because, like, about when was it, 2010 or 2009? I can't remember. One of them is when they started to do like a rebuild situation, and it looks like they're going through exactly the same thing again, and they're targeting young players and signing them up right now, and I can't believe PSG it must be pocket change for them, 189 million pounds, and they've said no to that too. It's absolute madness. Man's going on free for next year, like I don't even understand. In January they can literally sign him to a pre-contract agreement. They just said no to money. Like what?
It's a flex. It's power.
They're kind of dumb because they know in 3 years they're going to be investigated for FFP violation. They've already come out and said they have 3 years before they can be
They're giving it the big one.
investigated, and they know it. So they're gonna try to win the Champions League within 3 years before they get a ban again.
I mean,
Or the Super League happens, hey.
Or that, and this time they'll have to join.
they've signed Nuno Mendes, which now to me, like I'm like, this squad has to win the Champions League. It's a failure if they don't. I don't give a fuck what anybody tells me about Pochettino's a bottle job, whatever. No, I'm sorry. When you have this type
They
of squad,
won't.
you better not be at this
Mo,
point.
what's your expectation for this season Champions League?
Well, for us,
Yeah.
minimum semi-finals, bro.
We'll win it. We're gonna
Same.
retain our title this year.
Like I genuinely
I
think
love that.
any other manager, I would not have this type of confidence. But this manager has shown me a lot about tactical flexibility.
Same, yeah.
And the fact that he's able, like, there was a point in the preseason where he had, like, just, the deadwood mostly in the squad, and those were the ones playing, and we played the same exact way. And I was like, you know what? This says a lot about your character. And that Liverpool game for me, and as much as the red card was a pain and I was pissed off as hell, and that second half was a big proof to me that what the manager learned and what the players learned, because we collapsed against West Brom when we got that red card, and it was piss take. But the main thing for me was like the tactical change that Thomas Tuchel made in that match didn't pay off, and it felt like he didn't learn. I thought, damn, like you should have known this is how the Premier League works. They're going to counter the fuck out of you, and it fell into their hands. Whereas with Liverpool, who I think are much more dangerous than at West Brom, second half they struggled. They did not know what to do, to the point that their manager's coming out saying, what they should have done is go to 4 at the back. I'm like, what? You wanted an easy game? Is that what you're saying, Jurgen Klopp? Like, I have better respect than this for you, bro. You couldn't break the team down. Just say they were a solid defensive team in that second half, and they got a deserved point. It's not hard to be humble and be straight.
Say we were better than them, because that's the truth. I mean, everybody, all these Liverpool, there's so much cope floating around right now for that performance, man. There's so much people wanting to pretend like, oh man, Tuchel, what negative football, man, that was so unentertaining. Yeah, we'll blame Anthony Taylor for that, man. He ruined probably one of the matches of the season was shaping up to be.
Yeah.
Ruined a perfectly good exhibition of what the Premier League's all about.
Yeah.
And then you're going to sit over here and blame Chelsea for a negative game
Funny.
at Anfield? Come on, and we were the better team in the second half, so get bent. Jurgen Klopp's there's negative things. There's stagnation over at Anfield. They're old and they're weak.
They're having a meltdown, bro. Myron, they're having a meltdown. Literally, there's Twitter spaces going on right now. They are upset that we're getting Saul. They are upset that the only signing they've made is basically Kounde and nobody else at this point. And they're saying Harvey Elliott, as much as we love him, but what the fuck is going on at this club? Like, what are we meant to do with this? And they blame, and funnily enough, there's a divide within their fan base. Some are blaming FSG. Some are saying it's Jurgen Klopp. He's the one saying that I want to keep these players. They're training well enough, and we can go again. So it's a madness happening at Liverpool, if you ask me. And all that needs to happen is just even if it's 2-3 games of bad form, I do
just a little doubt.
Yeah, that's gonna really have a bad effect on them. It'll be interesting. I still expect them to be the ones to be in the top 4 and still have some sort of title contending. But besides that, generally speaking, bruh, like if there's certain injuries that happen, this squad is in the same problems as last year, and teams are better off and prepared now in comparison, because the context last year was everyone suffered from the pandemic. Everyone had to deal with a lot of madness. It's just that Liverpool's was the worst of them all.
Yes, absolutely. And we're the only team that actually addressed our areas of need. Even Manchester United, they're having to go with this crazy, put a superstar in every position because our manager is shit. And we don't want to get rid of him because, I don't know, because of the same reasons we didn't want to get rid of Lampard, I guess. But it's not even a strong emotional connection. I don't get it. But anyway, we have filled all of those holes. They needed 4 players at least, including Ruben Neves. They needed Ruben Neves or someone like him. And so we were the only ones who got a center forward, a top, I would say at this point, a top 3, top 2 center forward in the world. And then we also got Saul, which is a great, like for all the reasons that we've just harped on about for like the last 30 minutes, is a great signing. So, I mean, we come in with depth. Our second string team could win the Europa League easily and probably have a deep drive into the Champions League if we let it go. So we're ready to compete on all fronts. I don't think there's a competition out there we can't win. I would probably be more like humble if this wasn't a Chelsea stream, but I'm expecting us to win everything that we're involved in this year. And that's just how I feel. But I'll be disappointed with less. I'll cope about it if it happens, but I would be disappointed with less.
It's interesting because like I think for cup competitions, because they are knockout competitions, I feel pretty content with saying like we should be getting to the finals of these things, like at the minimum, or semi-finals at the minimum, right? And for the Premier League, I need proof before I can say that, because the proof in the last 4 years has been that we're not consistent team, and I need to see how we deal with difficult moments. Liverpool, for example, was a moment where we showed how we deal with situation that was not That should have never happened. A referee clearly took charge of the game and done what he did. But other than that, like when you look at other fan bases, I mean, the amount of flipping goalposts being moved from Man United's organization is mad, bro. Because you listen to them and they'll say to you, particularly, like, we still need a DM. I'm like, how many more signings do you need, my friends? Like, you have signed some world beaters out here and you had some already on top of that. Your manager's not good enough. And then they're like, no, 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 but he is. He's changed the Man United way. He's hired a new catering people, and they're going to feed the team really well. And they're giving him credit for everything. I'm like, bro, he spent 441 million. The least you can expect is a title. And you are out here telling me an FA Cup win is acceptable. You're Manchester United Football Club. What kind of bullshit is this, bro? Me as a Chelsea fan, you don't hear me saying I accept a League Cup win. What the hell's wrong with you, lot? And it's like, oh no, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has never really done. And I said, there's the issue. You have an emotional attachment to this guy. I've been there, I've done that. I'm telling you right now, let it go. Support your damn club. If he's not good enough, say it as it is. You're not good enough. Get out of my club. Get the right manager. Go win trophies. That's what Man United is supposed to do.
And we held our club, sort of ransom for a little while on a dream. On a love story, really. And we wanted Lampard to work, but they want Ole to work so badly they're willing to sign like 2 starting quality, like top 4 teams, and probably all the coaching in the world, and then just prop Ole on top of this pyramid, and then we'll call it his masterclass. Get rid of him. If they brought in a Kounde tomorrow, I would be extremely worried about Manchester United this coming season. I would be. You wouldn't? Well, why not?
No, because they don't have the players. They really don't. I mean, you can look up front. Marcus Rashford's always hurt. Can't and has no left foot. Big flaws in his game. Edison Cavani is 85 years old. Understand he's not. And then Ronaldo is 90. So why do you think they're going to be able to go through a Premier League season and as physical as it is without them picking up niggles here and there? Jadon Sancho is going to need at least a year, and we can call him a flop for an entire year since they did that with Kai Havertz. The only thing they have right now is Mason Greenwood, who is their best player going forward in that team. Bruno Fernandes, we know in big games he ain't showing up. Hasn't shown up once yet. He's just a stat patter against little teams, and now he can't even take penalties because if Ronaldo's on the field, he's taking all the penalties. You have a right back who can't cross the football. You have a left back who eats more hamburgers than runs miles. You have a Frogba pivot. Get this, Frogba. Fred and Pogba will be your pivot. All right?
Yeah, but imagine telling us that we were going to win the Champions League at the end of Frank Lampard's tenure. All those players, I was slating every single one. I was like, clear house. Let's start up over and let's build it up from the ground up. And I think that Tuchel came in and changed our perspective. I think it's almost hard for me to remember the paradigm shift because it was so extreme. And the way I think about these players now versus the way I did whenever times were tough. And I really think that, I agree with Fred and McTominay, that the weakness, the blaring weakness in their team is the double pivot. I don't even think they're playing their strongest formation. But, their back line actually pretty good. I mean, especially if you counterattack, it's top 4. It's definitely top 4. And their front line is, okay, across the season, but on a day, I'm very scared. On a day with Ole, I'm very scared. And if they had an actual coach over a season, I would be worried.
Yeah, I get that, but I don't rate Maguire. I've seen him play this year, and he's really not that.
I think Lindelof's going to take a spot.
He's got a mistake in him every game. Varane, I'm sorry, he's a pace merchant. His day is done. He was the B to Ramos's A. Okay, Ramos was the alpha dog. He covered for Varane. He made Varane look good. When Ramos wasn't there, how'd they look when it was Militao and Varane? We ran through that defense like diarrhea.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't want to hear how great Varane is. I'm sorry. You saw the man with Ramos. You don't have Ramos on your team. So, and they should have lost two games this year already. David De Gea has saved their butt twice. the person that they don't even want to play goalkeeper. You know, so look, I know all this stuff because I watch the United stand. I listen to a lot of United fans, so they're not even thinking we got, you know, that they're going to win the league this year with bringing Ronaldo in, because they needed a CDM and they didn't get it, and they need a backup right back. They don't
But
have
they're
it.
in the delusion. They're still
Didn't
thinking only as the
they
future.
go for Shermany at one point?
They were linked.
There was some links, but they had links to everybody. The thing is, when you're a top club and you have money, every club wants to link their players to you, so other clubs that might be interested will go pay the money.
Yeah.
It's negotiating through the media, is what it is.
Stunts.
It's just the way the world works. We have to understand, but you know, let's do. I mean, I just burnt Man U. Let's talk about Liverpool. Right? They will be without Mo Salah and Sadio Mane for a stretch in January. Yeah, they're both going to be at AFCON. They're going to be without Alisson for at least five days when he comes back from Brazil, because all the Brazil players, if you go to Brazil, you have to isolate when you come back.
Yeah.
And that's English rule. That's the FA's rule, not UEFA's. So their midfield. Can you tell me who's the creator out of that midfield?
But that's more of a system thing.
They have all the same players playing in midfield. Thiago, well, Fabinho's different, but he doesn't create. And Naby Keita? Are you kidding me? This kid, he's going to have a couple good games and then he's going to fall off because he's never played in the Premier League. I mean, any average player can have some good games and look good. It's what you do for a stretch. It's what you do consistently that makes you a great player or a good player and able to stick. So they don't have a center forward. They have Firmino, who's now out. They have Jota, who's not a center forward. They have Salah, who you have to give him the ball in the right position to make one move and shoot the ball. He's not breaking down a defense because you know exactly what he's going to do. He's coming on his left foot, so you shade him to the left, make him go right, and you half his effectiveness. Mane hasn't been good for a year. So we're supposed to be scared of them? We just beat them 12-10. They had that ball fraud on their team too, and we still drew with them and had the better chances in the second half. All right, so that leaves Man City. I'm sorry if
mud anyway. Look, that looks sus as hell. Well, go on, man. What are you saying?
If you think they have a good defense, I'm sorry. You've been smoking some bad stuff. You might end up in Devo's chicken coop.
Fucking hell.
Why is Justin like this, bro?
Oh my
He
god.
just go through the teams like fire, bro.
So, Man City has an aging right back, and that's it. They have no left back at all. One of them's allegedly going to be incarcerated, and the other one's not a left back. So they play a midfielder at left back sometimes. They have Fabinho's 85 years old too, or Fernandinho, excuse me, is 85 years old. At some point, his legs are going to go. So who do you really concern you on defense? We did Diaz in the Champions League. In the final, he was done.
I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned with us playing them. I'm more concerned with them being able to just out-system every single other team in the Premier League, kind of like they have been doing for the last couple of seasons. Because it's not like they play. I mean, if you find City's ball entertaining, I get it, but they just have a formula that they go and use on every single team, and it just kind of works because they have superior players. Against us, I haven't worried about City since Tuchel's come into this team, because we have Pep's number. But I think the biggest thing with City is going to be Pep saying he's leaving. I think people are going to start looking to their futures, people are going to get off focus on off project because they know the captain's leaving, in X number of years, X number of seasons. And maybe it doesn't affect them right off the bat. They've steamrolled Norwich and they made Arsenal look like Arsenal, but they are the ones I worry about.
I'm starting to take Chelsea fan cards. You can turn them in now.
What are you reading?
What?
They're saying that Fabrizio Romano has said that the deal is collapsed.
They're not saying.
No. 56 seconds ago, Absolute Chelsea just tweet, all these are agreed. It's not done to paperwork. A race against time to be completed in time. Absolute Chelsea tweet out.
Apparently, it's a Griezmann deal that might not be going through, I think. But they're saying it's a pattern, like, what is this?
Johnny is tweeting the deal collapsed.
Fabrizio has not tweeted that, so that's a lie.
No, Absolute Chelsea.
No, I think it's Fabrizio's, what's it called? His crappy little podcast. Where is it?
Yeah, it's getting debunked in real time.
Yeah, it's
Saul Niguez to Chelsea, Griezmann to Atletico, De Jong to Barcelona. Apparently, all deals are dependent on each other.
12 minutes to go, apparently, but they still have like an hour to hand in the paperwork afterwards, I believe.
Saul's meant to be announced, so like this shouldn't matter to us. Paperwork should be done and everything. We should
keep your composure, guys. Breathe.
Yeah.
Go outside.
Yeah, seriously.
Have some self-respect. You don't want to debase yourself in front of all your online friends because you couldn't hold your water for 12 minutes. Let's go.
Yeah, and all the paperwork does not have to be done. That's the falsehood about this stuff. There's just a certain piece of paperwork that has to be turned in by the deadline day. If the deal is being worked on, you're allowed to go over the magic hour.
Correct.
Yeah,
Good
Chelsea
Lord.
don't even need to put a form in now at this point because we're so far into the deal, it wouldn't make sense for us to just not be able to finish it.
Get it done now. Yeah, we probably had paperwork drawn up for a while. I mean, I don't know why we wouldn't. It's minor changes. Like when you're doing these deals, you're not just like sitting. Well, okay, I don't know about these deals, but when you're negotiating a contract, which is what I do, you're not. You're working over minutia. We've had the contract typed out. We're looking at the obligation or option to buy, and we've just been trying to get them to agree to one or the other. These documents are signed. I guarantee you. I don't understand.
Yeah, I again, there is no. Yeah, now Pies is coming out and saying this stuff.
Saying what? Oh, for goodness sake, something's.
To be honest though, man, he's been panicky all day. There's a couple accounts.
He's been complaining all day long.
Yes.
So
take your juice box outside, man.
There's really, look, Absolute 12 Chelsea 20 seconds ago. Saul Niguez is in the offices with the representation agency waiting to sign the contract with Chelsea. Please stop.
Can I be real? It just feels like one last media grab. Like this don't. I'm not.
Yeah, honestly, one last pump on the numbers. Let's get a couple. Yeah, let's get some engagement.
So Fabrizio just tweeted 39 seconds ago, and he didn't say anything about the deal falling through.
Aurier's contract's been terminated. Mad.
Yep. He asked for it to be terminated so he could leave.
Yeah, because they signed this Emerson Royale guy from Barca.
Yeah, we should have another hour to complete the paperwork, so there ain't anything to worry about. We're going to be live on here for another about 10 or so minutes anyway. So, guys, continue to drop your questions in. I hope he gets announced by 11 p.m. because it should be done by then.
No, I hope he doesn't get announced by 11. I want to see all these people go nuts. I really do.
Just wants chaos.
It's like watching a car accident.
He likes the toxic madness, bro. Let it go.
Dude, he trolls the Cho stands, so you know that he likes to hear the shrillest, loudest ring. Yeah.
They can cry about it, man. We got 9 minutes to complete the deal, guys. No, I'm playing. We'll be fine.
T-minus 9 minutes.
Again, that does not mean anything.
I know it doesn't.
Look, you just have to have a negotiation going on. You think the UEFA is going to go in and go, hope you got to stop negotiations now. If the intent for the deal to be completed is there, I'm guessing there's a piece of paperwork that has to be sent in that there are negotiations for the player to be done. It's okay. If he doesn't get announced tonight, it's okay because announcements have nothing to do with players being transferred. It's just a PR thing.
But Jester, I actually have an in the know contact who just told me that unless we hit a certain like number on this video, Saul's deal is actually not going to go through. He's going to refuse to sign
Yeah,
off the presses. So I don't know what the
Sound-
target is exactly, but we should hit that. Otherwise,
sound-
it won't happen.
Saul Enquires is in the offices of his representation agency, waiting to sign the contract with Chelsea. Says El Chingrito TV. I think that's the one with that TikTok guy.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Oh man, did you see he did the announcement for somebody else, and he just looks so sad in
Yeah,
that picture.
here it is. The time extension to 12 a.m. if the deal sheet is submitted.
Yeah.
So they still have another hour.
Yeah, like this happened with Zappa Costa and Drinkwater back in the day. Like, we've been here. I don't know why people are panicking about it.
Relax
Don't remind
yourself,
me.
people. Relax.
Yeah,
Let's
bro,
not draw
we
that parallel.
coverage all day doing this big deadline day build up for fucking Drinkwater and Zappa Costa. Oh my gosh.
What a day.
Yeah, but that weren't this channel. You can blame the fatty that owned the other channel.
You know what's surprising, guys? The fact that Man United were able to get 25 million for Daniel James is shocking. I can't even lie.
Well,
I don't even know what to say
they've
about
been
that one.
simping. They were simping for Daniel James last year. Leeds was. I have no idea why, but they were simping hard for him last. They were talking about doing it last year.
He was in the All or Nothing documentary, remember? Like, he literally was meant to have like a deadline day deal done with Leeds in the year when they failed to actually get promoted. That's when it was supposed to happen, and it never did. So they've been chasing this guy for a couple of years now. But
So
it's
they've wanted him.
Yeah, this is a long-term love affair.
25 mil, like they got bullied out here, man. That's mad.
They did get taken to the cleaners, and that's what happens when you negotiate on another club's terms. You get taken to the cleaners. Anybody remember Kepa?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's so funny that
Let's
Go
not
ahead.
talk about Kepa, man.
Well, no, I'm not slating Kepa. I'm saying that's we negotiated on their terms, and we had
Bent
to
over
pay
a
a
barrel.
release clause.
But they
And
don't.
we got burnt on it.
They don't tend to negotiate anyway. So that's their rule.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we have release clause. Once you meet that, you go do what you gotta do. Like, pay the money off, and you don't even need to talk with us. But if you're not willing to do that, there's no conversation to be had. That's how they've done things always, to be honest.
well, that's what's dirty about this Sevilla deal is that we had they waited for us to, and we went in good faith. We were operating in good faith. Went and sold Zuma, and in the 11th fucking hour, they come out. Sorry to curse on your stream, but they come out here and just try to absolutely screw us in front of everybody.
Did you guys not think that could potentially happen though? Like, I don't know about you guys, but because the deal wasn't happening at the same time, for me, I always had this feeling like, what if we sell this guy and then they do something stupid and start saying something like, raise the price, or no, we no longer want to sell the player, or we have a better offer, whatever the scenario is. I generally thought that could happen as soon as we weren't doing the deals in the same amount of time together.
And they could have the possibility, but that's when you find out about your interlocutors. That's what you find out who you're dealing with, because once they did that, we were in a position to walk away. And we didn't put ourselves in a position where we had to debase ourselves to get that player, because we weren't desperate, because we don't let ourselves get desperate, because we're a well-run organization. So now we know who we're working with.
All right, folks, I gotta bounce. I gotta get ready to go back to work. I got another 5 hours of work to do. So
Big up.
Fuck yeah, fair play, bro. No worries, man. Big up yourself anyway. We are 5
Hey.
minutes away from deadline day. Remember, if we don't get Saul in by then,
Come on
we're
in, Scott.
3 midfielders. We're screwed. Not winning anything.
Take
The
it.
world's gonna end,
hey,
Peace, man.
and the Premier League
Positive
table will come
vibes.
backwards.
positive vibes, bro. Positive vibes only.
Damn
no
right.
negative.
That's
We'll
right.
speak to y'all soon. Peace.
Bless, bro.
Take care,
Bless.
brother. Yeah,
James,
it's
why are you killing my vibe like this about we ain't going Tottenham? Not with that negative attitude, we're not. With Tottenham away is happening.
I don't know. He's probably mugging you off about that loyalty points, though.
Yeah, that's what he's on about because we didn't go Super Cup. But it's what it is.
How many points you got? You lot got?
I'm on 49 points. That's third batch for Tottenham away, so it's a bit technical.
Ooh.
Wait, 49
Chill out.
points because I'm confused. What's
Because we
happening?
missed the Super Cup. So we
Ah.
missed
Oh,
five
you
loyalty
see,
points.
I told you that could be a costly one.
Wait, so
I told you that would be a costly one. But what I didn't tell you is I had a spare bed in the hotel. That's on you, bruv.
that's true. That is true, though. That is true. You effed up on that part.
No, I told you. You didn't tell me enough. That's what the problem was. Alright, so if I don't make Tottenham away and there's no vlog, you lot know who to blame. This one,
Yeah,
lads.
it's
Definitely not
it's
me.
his fault down here. Wait, down. No, what the bleep? No, fuck it. I fucked up. I can't even be honest.
Fine, it's
I
fatter.
was trying to call you for this, yeah? Do I have to do this? Yeah, that's not bro. It's fucked. I'm not underneath it. I can't point at my own in it. It's fucked up.
Nah, don't worry. There you go.
Yeah, it's this guy's fault down here. Thank you for that,
There
Louis.
you go. Yeah, Jamie, blame him. Fatter the Wallad. You're damn right, man. But our favourite Wallad. Big up yourself.
Hey,
Flop signing of the season
Bun
prediction.
Melon Minerals. Flop of the season.
Yeah.
Ooh, I mean, that's too soon.
Let me
Isn't it
just
too
go on
soon
a
now?
tangent and say Ben White. We'll do Ben White.
Well, is it Chelsea or is it overall? You mean?
Overall, we've only had 2 signings. Well, if T minus 2 minutes for Saul Niguez.
I'll say Pogba.
I don't think I've heard anything. Is there any news? Pogba? No,
Wait.
I meant out of this transfer, G.
What's wrong with you, bro? What the hell have you done, bro?
Oh my god.
Oh
This
my
transfer, yeah.
days.
Probably Griezmann
In the Premier League?
in the league. Yeah, Ben White. Gotta be a good Ben White.
I'm trying to think.
It's a safe bet.
Ben White. Yeah. Either Ben White or Sancho.
I get that bad feeling that it's going to be Jadon Sancho, man. Like,
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind if it happens because I hate Man United anyways. I don't care. But I like the player, man. I want him to do well for himself. But I just want this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer guy, bro, man. He's going to be ruining the career of this guy, man. Just get that bad feeling.
Oh, Leon Bailey.
Him.
Where to?
Man said Leon Bailey, yo, that you're taking a piss, bro. Has he even gotten minutes yet?
Yeah.
How much was he? 30?
He was 30 minutes. I don't think that's like really qualified. I
Not
think
really. I mean, yeah.
that's a good price to get for the player.
I'll say Nuno. I'll say again Nuno Tavares.
Yeah, I was
Every
about to say
player
that
that's
one
found
earlier.
for Arsenal will become a flop, including Ramsdale. That's it.
Oh my god. I can't, it's not.
What's the keeper again that they got?
Oh,
I'll go with
60
him.
seconds. Oh, 50 seconds.
Ooh, Aaron Ramsdale. Is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
Ramsdale. Yeah, Ramsdale. That's my shot. There we go. Flop of the season. Backup goalkeeper
Just
for Arsenal.
anyone in an Arsenal kit.
Yeah, anyone, literally.
Yeah,
Actually, that Lukonga guy they got looks decent. Looks decent.
What's wrong with Twitter?
Yeah, you
Twitter
got-
is freezing.
Right, 30 seconds to go.
7, 5, 4,
Oh, fuck.
Three. 2, 1, and the window is officially
The
closed.
window
It's
is
over.
closed.
Closed.
Let's
Closed.
go.
Saul Niguez is officially an Atletico Madrid player. It
Thank-
is what it is. I'm joking, guy. I don't know
It
what's
is
happening.
what it is, guys. We go with the ones that have done the job before.
But
The
we got an
window
hour at least for the paperwork.
has shut.
All right, gents, I gotta hop. Good talking.
Aye, no worries, guys.
Take care, brother.
You guys drop us some final thoughts before we wrap up the end of this stream. I'm gonna be real. Saul is done anyway.
Yeah.
Fabrizio
Like Scott
tweeted
say,
an hour ago that Saul will officially join Chelsea in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
Scott said it must still go through if we hand the paperwork.
Yeah, it'll be done. Like I'm taking
Yeah.
a piss. If anyone thinks Saul isn't happening, then that's on
Bro,
them.
this guy gained like 600,000 followers in the last maybe 3 days, I think it was.
Jamie, I don't know what you're on about, bro, because we are still going to be talking about Erling Haaland for the next 4 months on my stream. Come on, man. We can talk about Hudson-Odoi. We can talk about a defender. We can go about Haaland, Lukaku, all of that. Let's go.
Right, we'll do one final refresh of Twitter. This is so laggy.
AC. Oh no! You don't trigger Lewis, Jamie. Don't.
You
Man
mean
said Lewis.
AC?
Oh god.
There we go.
Official announcement done. Anything on tweet though?
I don't even think so.
Oh, the board's just taking a piss. Ugh.
Oh, for you! Of course you fell for it.
Yeah, bro. Edu apparently sold one player, terminated one player, and loaned 8 players out. Arsenal fans are having a meltdown.
The move will be happening though. It should be here in the next few. It should be here in the next few hours. Nothing to worry about. But guys, yeah, I do think we are going to end the stream here. When we are back here on another live stream, Saul Niguez will officially be announced as a Chelsea player. You heard it here first. Heard it first here on Chelsea Fan TV. Saul Niguez will be a Chelsea player. Big up all you man that are locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button. Big up every single one of you guys locked in. Luke Tucker has officially announced it. Chelsea officially welcome Saul. Big up Luke, man. Tier 1 source, all of that. We'll give it one last look. Refresh. Nope, it'll happen afterwards. Right, well, big up
Hey.
all you that are locked in. Smash the like and subscribe button. We're going to head out. We'll be back for another live stream very soon. And we'll be back for another Haaland discussion soon as well. So take care, like and subscribe. And as always, up the Chelsea.
Peace.